You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, several counties in our region held important elections. We're going to have those results with you here on the Morning News.
Also, conversations and public input pushes progress on the future of US 69.
And we're continuing to track severe thunderstorms out there with a potentially dangerous line of storms. And again, bad timing with us kids getting on the bus this morning. We're going to have the latest on this severe weather coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Warner. It is just after 7 a.m. now on this Tuesday, April the 2nd. We talked about this severe weather possibility yesterday, and unfortunately it is playing out as expected. So let's start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. We're going to take a look at the current alerts that we have in place out there. We have a number of severe thunderstorm warnings in our region, and those ones that you see in orange, those have what we call a tornado possible tag associated with them, which means they are showing at least some signs of possible rotation. And you see down southwest of Bonita along the Will Rogers Turnpike, that tornado warning that's in effect. This is the second one we've had in northeast Oklahoma, again, just immediately outside of our viewing area. But each time with these little spin-ups, there's at least been brief touchdowns out there this morning. So again, this is the worst possible time if you're ahead of this line. We're getting ready to go to school. We're getting kids on the bus. You've got to be paying close attention. If you're heading to work, you've got to be paying very close attention out there to everything that is going on across the region because we've got this very intense line of thunderstorms rolling through, and again, a number of warnings out there. We're going to send it to Doug Heading. He's here this morning with us. He's going to give us an update and a tour on what we're seeing across the area so far this morning. Doug.
Yeah, of course, a very intense line working off toward the east. It's a linear line, but we have these little nubs within it, and the atmosphere is very unstable. We haven't had any storms in southwestern Missouri yet. We didn't get any last night. These were all on the Kansas side last night, so this is moving into a very unstable environment, and we may max the tornado potential, at least, over the next couple hours as these push through the metro over toward Mount Vernon, Monette, into northwestern Arkansas. So that means we want to pay very close attention as we go through the next few hours. Let's take a little bit of a tour. We have strong storms now, Fort Scott to Nevada. Still, we have our severe thunderstorm warning. So this is Crawford moving into Barton County. Lamar, you guys are on deck. Look at the lightning, how it's really picked up just west of Pittsburgh, Girard, all the way down into Cherokee County. So Columbus, you guys are also on deck, and then trails off. Now, once you get to Parsons, Erie, Chanute, Iola, Yates Center, Fredonia, Neodesha, your severe threat is done as we go through the next few hours. Let's go a little farther south so you can see the edge of our warning moving into Ottawa County. So Miami, you still got about 20 minutes. Commerce, Grand Lake, probably 30 minutes. You can see one tornado warning northeast of Tulsa, so we really want to watch this complex as it pushes into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. And we have this threat for severe weather over the next couple hours. You can see it shifts into Missouri, so here's about 30 minutes to the next hour. This mess coming out of northeastern Oklahoma into southwestern Missouri. Once we pass 8-9 a.m., we kind of just switch over to good old showers and thunderstorms. Going to pass it back over to Chris Warner.
Yeah, so we're going to take a quick look at what we've got outside of that this morning. So we're sitting, wow, just a really good lightning flash just now on the KDOT camera south of Pittsburgh. So we're sitting at 74 in Joplin right now. We are sitting at 70 in Pittsburgh. So we've had these very mild temperatures through the morning. Very unusual for this time of year. We should be, if we're going to be in the low 70s this time of day, that's something we see more in May and especially into June. Take a look at the temperature map, though. You can see where that cold front is out there, because back behind it we've got those temperatures into the low 60s now. That's Yates Center, Neodesha, Sedan, Chanute, Iola, and then ahead of it we still have the very warm air, and you can see those wind arrows where that shift is with the cold front pushing through the rest of the day. By about noon we should be done. That's why the latest of our tornado watches does continue until noon, and then after that we'll have partly cloudy skies. Our highs today right around the low to mid 70s. A little cooler tonight, clouds increasing, and then we have additional shower and thunderstorm chances from Thursday through at least Sunday morning. We'll go over those details as we can, and of course we're going to keep you updated on the severe weather situation as it continues to develop here in the 4 states. For now, we're going to send it over to Samantha, who's got some information on elections from Oklahoma.
Thanks, Chris. Voters in Oklahoma headed to the polls yesterday to cast their ballots on a variety of issues with local impact. One of those races was between Destiny Stanley and Terry Daniels for Quapaw Town Clerk and Treasurer. Terry Daniels has won that contest. Also on the ballot yesterday is the race for Commerce Marshal between Ernie Shelby and Michael Sweeten. Michael Sweeten has won that contest. Amber Knoll and Henry Goforth are both vying for the position of Veneta City Clerk. Amber Knoll has won that contest. There were also some propositions on the ballot yesterday. A proposal in J raised the issue of street and road improvements. That measure has passed. And a proposition around the Ketchum Public Schools would mean funds for building projects. That measure has also passed. If you ever need to find voting information for your area, just scan this QR code. It'll take you to our election resources on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. You'll be able to find all sorts of election info, including polling places and schedules. You can even check to see if you're registered to vote. And those are our top news stories this half hour. We're going to go right over to weather next. And later, doctors across the nation are asking for your help for the National Donate a Life Month. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
All right, guys, I want to continue to update you on our severe weather pushing through the region. You can see one little tornado warning popped up north of Nevada, and this is in Bates County. And what this shows us is we're not getting any lead time on these tornado warnings, so they're very fast. Little spin ups, and we just don't have much in the way of warning, so that's why these pop out, and that's why all these counties are highlighted in orange, because it's showing us that we could see little spin up tornadoes at any time. So we definitely want to pay attention. You can see our severe weather threat has dropped off now on the Kansas side. Look at this line continuing to push through. It's a linear line, but it's got individual supercells in it. And as these continue to push into southwestern Missouri, especially this cluster out in northeastern Oklahoma, we're going to have that continued chance to get those little spin-up tornadoes across the region. Zooming in, so first off, up toward Butler, you can see where that tornado warning is. This cell extends farther south into eastern parts of Bourbon County. Nevada, you guys are going to get back into the action here pretty quick. Very intense storm. Look at the lightning. Girard to Pittsburgh, stretching back into Cherokee County, so that's why we already have severe thunderstorm warnings with that tornado tag. Western parts of Barton County into Jasper County. So that cluster is, in a sense, kind of an individual supercell. Let's go down into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. This is a big boy. Lightning starting to pick up just a bit. So just west of Veneta, this is going to push toward Miami and also Commerce as we go through the next few hours. If you live in southwest Missouri, south of I-44, no, you haven't had the storms yet. You will start to get into the action over the next hour. All of our eastern counties in the next hour or two will start to pick up those thunderstorms and a severe threat. Going to toss it over to Chris.
Yeah, we are, of course, as Doug mentioned, continuing to track these showers and storms as they roll through the area this morning with that very intense line out there as well as it continues to push off to you. So again, we just want to emphasize for folks getting on the bus, heading out to work, if you're east of this line, you need to be extra cautious this morning. I know in Joplin right now, just from my kids' bus schedule, I know that their bus has probably picked them up, probably has them on the way to school. And of course, Joplin schools and other districts in our area have those safe shelters, those safe rooms, and so that's probably the best place to be as this line rolls through, because as Doug mentioned, there's not been a lot of lead time on some of these tornado warnings. These spin-ups, and they can drop very quickly. We have seen a couple of brief touchdowns into northeastern Oklahoma, one in Osage County near Pawhuska, and the other one was just to the northeast of Tulsa around the Wasso area. So again, nothing like that in our area at this time, but we've got to continue to monitor this very closely. A reminder, we do have a wind advisory in effect for a good portion of the area, and that is because, again, ahead of the storms, we saw those winds gusting 50, 55 miles an hour out there, still gusting at this point. That's part of what's leading in to the possibility of the rotation on these storms is this strong shear that's in place. Behind the line, we could still get winds gusting 40 to 45 miles an hour out there. Now, once we get to about noon, our severe threat's done. The latest of the tornado watches, which is primarily into the eastern portion of our area, so Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee, Ottawa, Delaware counties, and points east, runs through noon. And as we've been watching as well this morning, that's been dropping off because storms, as once you get behind these storms, you are good to go. The rest of today, partly cloudy, breezy, and mild, low to mid 70s. Now, overnight tonight, we get a little chilly. Clouds increase. We're looking at showers, thunderstorms as we head into our Thursday out there as well. And that will continue. Now, we could see some stronger storms south of I-44 as we head into our Thursday. Again, we're not looking at anything quite like what we're seeing this morning as we head into Thursday, but it is going to be a possibility, maybe some gusty winds, perhaps some small hail out there. So, again, some good news there. That risk also continues into our Friday because we'll see another round of showers and storms. So, we'll get some meaningful rainfall through the day on Thursday. We actually get a break Thursday night into Friday morning, and then by Friday mid-morning, another round of showers and thunderstorms roll through, and again, a couple of those could be a bit on the strong side. We're going to toss it over to Samantha with a look at Nation Watch, and of course, we'll keep you updated on these.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, Hollywood is mourning the loss of actor Val Kilmer. In a statement to the New York Times, his daughter says Kilmer died Tuesday. She says the cause of death was pneumonia. He began his film career in the 1984 comedy Top Secret, but his breakout role was in 1986's Top Gun. Some of his other well-known roles included Batman Forever, Tombstone, The Doors, and Heat. His final film role was in 2023's Top Gun Maverick, where he resumed his role as Tom Iceman Kaczynski. Kilmer was diagnosed with throat cancer in 2014, but later recovered. Val Kilmer was 65 years old. Major car makers are reporting record sales ahead of President Donald Trump's 25% tariffs on foreign cars and auto parts. These tariffs are set to kick in this week. Hyundai says it sold more than 87,000 units in March, a 13% jump, while Ford says its sales jumped to 19% last month. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, meteorologist Doug Heddy want to continue to update you on our severe thunderstorms rotating through. New tornado warning. So this is just north of Pittsburgh. So up toward Arma, just northeast of Arma. So this is pushing into Vernon County. Again, we've been talking about, we are getting these quick little spin up tornadoes. I'm going to mess with the radar here just a bit, and let's see if we can see anything with this. We're going to switch it over to velocity. So right in here, let me circle this for you. Right in there, so where you see the red and the green, so just north of Arma. So here's 69 highway heading up toward Fort Scott. This guy's racing northeast, booking at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. So that means we need to watch as this pushes into southwestern parts of Missouri. Let's get a little better look at that. So this is going to be moving into Vernon County. So eventually Deerfield, Nevada. You guys are in line. It's right on top of Arcadia at this time, so about ready to push into southwestern Missouri. Let's see if we got any CC drops. So CC, we use this, and this helps us tell if anything's on the ground. There is a little bit of a drop there just north of Arcadia, so it may briefly be touching down, but that's something we definitely want to watch as this storm continues to push off toward the north and to the east. So let's take a little bit of tour. So this is going to move into Vernon County again. So the sirens may be going off Nevada, Deerfield, down toward Arcadia as this storm races northeast. Let's go a little bit farther south. The back end of this storm, yes, it is warned from Arma north, but Pittsburgh, you are not directly in the tornado warning. Very intense cell moving through Cherokee County, Crawford County, into western parts of Barton County. We'll also get into northern parts of Jasper County as well. Let's go a little farther south. Severe thunderstorm warnings. Interesting structures on the backside once you get over into Craig County, which is right in here. So we want to watch these storms as they push through northeastern parts of Oklahoma. The atmosphere is a little capped in northeastern Oklahoma, so these guys have kind of weakened a little bit. The cap is a little less in southwest Missouri, so these storms, just took another power hit. Let's see if we're still on, but yeah, another power hit, a lot of lightning across the region. Let's go ahead and track a little bit farther toward the north. Let's look at this storm one more time. Let me pull out the velocity, and you can still see, pull up CC, still a little bit of a dip, but on velocity right now, so this rotation part of the storm would be passing just north of Arcadia. You got anything, Chris, you want to?
Not at this time. James, I don't know if you're able to hot punch it for us, the Pittsburgh camera. We have it pointed north. You can't see much from there, but there is torrential rainfall with this storm right now and a lot of lightning associated with it. This actually has improved a little bit since a moment ago, but we do have our Pittsburgh camera there pointed back roughly to north, but you see that lightning out there. We're going to pan it a little to the north and east, but again, a little too far to the south and west of this. And the lightning, I can't emphasize enough too, the intensity of the lightning that we are seeing around here. In fact, just this storm right now, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Lightning, just as dangerous as anything else. It's just as deadly, and that is a lot of lightning. Lightning strike count, 129 strikes with this cell that's over Crawford County and western Barton County, rather. So just intense lightning out there. We're still continuing to monitor what we've got going on. We're taking a look at just some information with these different storms. Again, as Doug mentioned, we have the tornado warnings out there now for northeastern Crawford, southeastern Bourbon, and a good portion of Vernon County and a small section of northwestern Barton County. But we have this entire line of very intense storms continuing to push off to the east. And as Doug's also mentioned, the atmosphere in southwest Missouri is a little more unstable. So even those weakening storms in Oklahoma, we're going to watch very closely. Just because they're going to be entering an area where they're still going to be capable of intensifying and potentially producing, those brief spin-ups. And as I mentioned before, the two storms in northeast Oklahoma, again, outside of our immediate area, there were a couple of brief touchdowns. So it is something we've got to watch very closely. The other issue, again, is just the fact with these spin-ups in the line, the lead time, the warning time ahead of this is very short. And so if you're heading to school, heading to work, make sure you've got a place to go. Make sure you have your safe place ready to go because these storms could change at any moment. We're going to take just a brief break. And actually, I take that back. We're going to head back over to Doug. Doug's got some more information on these storms as they continue to roll through.
Yeah, so looking at this tornado warning, so the part of the storm that initially fired off this warning is this little donut hole that we're seeing just to the northeast of Arcadia. But look at this, back south of Arcadia, that little hole on the backside, that is a strengthening signature. So we want to watch that just south of Arcadia. It could be a redeveloping tornado. This little notch right in here. So the original one right under this banner, now what is refiring that warning is this little notch on the backside. So these are, again, as Chris was mentioning, not much in the way of lead time, and that's what we see very typical with these types of storms. These aren't the typical supercell storms that you slow developing that you can watch tracking across the region. So we want to continue to watch that and see if that little signature continues to develop or strengthen as we go through the next few hours. And then again, we want to continue to watch these guys pushing out of northeastern Oklahoma. Of course, we're going to keep you updated. We're streaming. We're live right now. And I'm not a morning show guy, so Chris, did we go to break? What's going on?
I tell you what, Doug, I've got velocities up on Max 2. If you wanted to take a look at that, just to the north of Arcadia in that area that you were just talking about. I checked CC. I didn't see anything there, but I can switch to that real quick. Nothing standing out. Said that.
It's that right there, so just southwest of Arcadia.
So yeah, just southwest. Okay, so just southwest of Arcadia. Siren sounding Arcadia now. Fire department, they're reporting a possible funnel cloud just north of Arma just a minute or so ago. So again, it's a very intense situation. We are, of course, live right now on KOAM and on Fox 14 as we speak. So we've got to, we're going to continue to just honestly monitor these storms right now with the mornings as we're out there. The tornado warning does continue. And, of course, you're watching KOAM, Fox 14, both at this time, and we're continuing to monitor these storms. So, Doug, I don't know if you had some
Yeah,
additional information. I was
so-
just going to kind of catch up here on what we're seeing around the area and check on those Oklahoma storms.
So if we zoom in on this, so I mean, this has tightened a little bit. So this is right on top of Arcadia at this point in time. It's this little nub right in here. That's our rotation. Possible tornado. We already, as Chris just said, at least a funnel cloud. So Bronon, Harrison, little tiny towns as you get into southern parts, southwestern parts of Vernon County. But this storm is racing, and because we have circulation here, it will heighten the chance to get circulation back in here, other parts of the storm. So this may be one of those types of storms that just kind of recycles, but it has pretty good structure because the inflow is actually coming in on the back side. So you have the winds coming in over top and then wrapping into this little tiny donut here, and then you got the severe storms down toward Liberal as well. But that's a pretty good little tight signature. Let me go back to velocity here and see if anything is tightened up, and you can see it right in here. So right on the northwest side of Arcadia, so this little brighter green and then red, so where there's two, and there you get a little donut hole right there. So let's see if we got a CC drop on that. And a little bit. So we know there's at least a funnel cloud. There could be a brief tornado, but definitely a strong enough signature. You definitely want to take shelter. Arcadia, Bronon, up to the little town of Harrison. If you live rural in southwestern parts of Vernon County, as this storm, again, is going to race north and east. Let me go back to reflectivity here. Still nice little donut hole with it right in here. So our tornado, it's probably that little nub right in there, but sometimes we get additional rotation down in this little part, but I would say it's just north of Arcadia at this time. As Chris said, the sirens are going. They at least have seen a funnel cloud, so definitely watching that. Let me zoom out real quick and just make sure there's nothing else extremely imminent. We have severe thunderstorm warnings moving into Ottawa County, back through Craig County, all the way back toward Veneta. And as these push into southwestern Missouri, we're going to have that threat to continue to get severe thunderstorm warnings and some rotation within these storms. So we definitely want to keep our eyes on that. What do you got, Chris? Anything on tower cam showing up that?
Nothing that we can see as of yet. Again, we had that torrential rain in Pittsburgh on our camera there. Our cameras in Joplin, not seeing too much. I do know Tulsa folks are monitoring that storm near Veneta. It's becoming a bit of a supercell because that line is broken up just a bit down there. And so they're keeping an eye on that. And okay, so National Weather Service just canceled the tornado warning for the Bourbon and Crawford County side, but it is continuing for Vernon and Bourbon and Crawford County in Kansas, and it continues for Barton and Vernon County in Missouri. Still just reporting a radar-indicated tornado at this point, of course, including I-44 between mile markers 82 and 97. Weather spotters, again, as we mentioned, reported a funnel cloud near the Arma area. So we're going to continue to track that storm as it lifts off to the north and to the east, moving at approximately, if I remember seeing this just right, it is now moving northeast at 65 miles an hour. So it is definitely picked up speed out there. So we're just continuing to monitor these storms, and again, also we have an intense amount of lightning with some of these storms, and we're also keeping a very close eye on the thunderstorms that are back across northeastern Oklahoma. They're still severe warned. They kind of broke up just a bit, but they are beginning to kind of get themselves back together again out there. So we definitely want to continue monitoring these thunderstorms as they roll through. Doug, do you have anything else you want to add in?
Yeah, still seeing this signature on our reflectivity. So if we can go back over to max 1, so you can see still this nub here. So, and you can see the scan just came through, and still we have this notch. So this is now in southwestern parts of Vernon County. So this is just northeast of Arcadia now, probably by about 2 or 3 miles. But if we look at Vernon County, so most of Vernon County is under a tornado warning at this time. So this little nub is pushing off toward the north and to the east. So it's probably about 3 or 4 miles to the west of Bronon. And then now you got the town of Moundville right on top of the little town of Harrison. So this is going to push northeast. As Chris was saying, the cell is moving rapidly moving, 50, 60, 65 miles per hour. But what's happening is, because these are little spin-up tornadoes, these guys just kind of recycle back toward the west. So the rotation is moving slower than the cell because we keep getting energy flowing into it. But you can see this inflow notch. So we're looking in southwestern parts of Vernon County. Again, we've had a funnel cloud with it, so that means it can drop at any time. We've had the history through the morning of little spin-up tornadoes across parts of Oklahoma. And then again, just north of this in Bates County. So we want to continue to watch that little nub. Let me pull up the velocity here and see. And yeah, you can see a tightening signature here. So just northeast of Harrison, see this little spike here with the green and the red. So that is a stronger indication that we are at least having a funnel cloud with this as it continues to push north and east. So we want to watch that. So if you live in Moundville, Bruin, we took another hit. I'm sure my mic is still up, but we're just taking lightning left and right across the region. Let's see here. Chris, I'm going to pass it back over to you because I lost stuff here. Oh, wait.
All right, yeah, we are again continuing to monitor. We're watching this storm now just north of Veneta, getting some information. In fact, Doug, I'm going to throw this up in the monitor to your left as soon as this little ad here clears. It's coverage from KOTV in Tulsa. Their spotters are reporting at least some rotation with this storm north of Veneta at this point. And you can see this storm has kind of come detached from the overall line and has got that little hook signature on it. Haven't seen anything super impressive yet on data here. Well, now, Doug, again, definitely wanting to check with your particular thoughts on the Veneta storm on CC values on here. But again, News on 6, folks, again, had been reporting, they have storm trackers out reporting rotation that's intensified a bit with this storm north of Veneta. And so that could possibly be a potential debris signature there. Nothing confirmed as of yet.
I did just see Frontenac Fire Department. They said that a semi overturned on 69 just north of Arma. So that would have been where that tornado was. I know we're jumping storms here, but so that definitely means there was a potential of a tornado, or it did, or it could just be the winds. The winds are crazy as well. We'll go. You watch that Veneta one. Let's look at this real quick, and then I'm gonna toss it right back to you. But still, we have this little notch, so just northeast of Harrison. So you can see that right in there. That's where our possible tornado is. So when this passed back through northeastern Crawford County, it could have briefly touched down. So that just shows you that we need to pay attention to these storms. I know we usually don't have severe weather this time of the morning, but we are seeing it today, and it looks like we're going to continue to see it at least for the next hour or so. All right, Chris, tell me more about that Veneta storm.
Okay, so again, just kind of keeping an eye on this. Again, KOTV in Tulsa, they have storm trackers on the storm. They've reported that the rotation has increased visually north of Veneta, so that's what we're actually looking at right here. This is what Doug was talking about, that correlation coefficient, or essentially a debris tracker. So it's difficult to tell for sure. The velocity data are getting a little corrupted close to the radar side, but we are continuing to monitor that particular storm. The folks in Tulsa are continuing to monitor that storm as it continues to lift off to the north and east. And then take a look down to the south here, south of Veneta, around Claremore to Inola and Pryor Creek. Another very large thunderstorm out there, and it is continuing to push on off to the north and east as well. So not any additional new information. As a matter of fact, it looks as though, I'm going to back this up just to be sure. Yeah, the severe thunderstorm warnings, Crawford, Cherokee, parts of Jasper, and Barton counties, those have been dropped at this point. So again, we're going to continue to monitor all of these storms as they push through the area. As we mentioned too, as you folks are getting ready for the day, you're getting out, getting to school and everything, as we've talked about and as we have seen through the morning, very little lead time on these tornado warnings. These are not traditional supercells where you see it coming. You see the rotation in advance. You know the storm's intensifying. These are rotations within the line of storms, and that's what results in very quick spin-ups. It's also what results in very quick tornado warnings. warnings as we go through the morning. And as mentioned, we've at least had a couple of possible touchdowns on radar. We may have had maybe a couple of more brief touchdowns out there. So we still want to monitor these storms very quickly. Okay, so Springfield, Doug, we're going to go to you, but we've got possibly a radar-confirmed tornado southwest of Moundville.
Yeah, I was just looking at that, so you can see if we get Max 1 pop back up, still that little nub right in here. So that's where our tornado is, but this is, you can see the darker red now in the warning, so this is a confirmed tornado on the ground. So the town of Moundville, you want to be in your shelter right now. And even out here, Nevada, just south of Nevada, you want to go ahead and take shelter because we know this storm has had the history of dropping tornadoes. So a confirmed tornado on the ground. Let me change this up a little bit. We'll look at velocity, and I'll pull up the correlation coefficient, which allows us to see. There it is. That's debris right there. So that's picking up something on the ground, trees, house, whatever. But when you see this, it gets lofted into the atmosphere. The radar beam sweeps in, and it says, I don't know what that is. And that's why it brings back this color. That is a confirmed tornado on the ground. So Moundville, definitely need to be in your shelter right now. And then if we track this a little farther, let's see, I switched radars here, but you can still see it right there. So Nevada, this is just southwest of you. If you live in Nevada, go ahead and take shelter. Confirmed tornado on the ground as this continues to push off toward the north and to the east. Once switch to velocity, you can also see that very strong couplet right in here. If I move the radar just a bit, you'll get the red back. There it is. So it's right in here, just a few miles southwest of Nevada, and continuing to track off toward the north and to the east. And then, as Chris was mentioning, we really want to watch these storms coming out of northeastern Oklahoma over the next hour, 2 or 3. But again, let me zoom back in. So Nevada, definitely need to take shelter. This is out of Crawford County. You don't need to worry about it. It's not affecting Bourbon County. We do have storms back there, but again, nothing severe. Let's see if there's anything new here. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, we picked up the debris, and yep. There is a possibility there could be a couple area of rotation. So let me zoom in here. I want to go back to velocity here, and we're still yeah, there is. So we're getting right in here and here. So we may have 2 little tornadoes that are pushing in. So this is now working just south of 54 highway, mile or 2. So danger now moving into Nevada with a tornado on the ground. I'm going to pull back up the correlation coefficient, our CCs, and you can still see that debris. So there's your tornado right there, and it's pushing northeast rapidly. Nevada, fairly populated town, 10,000 people or so, give or take. So definitely need to take shelter, of course, as Chris has been mentioning all morning. Parents getting kids ready for school, so there's a lot going on. But we usually don't get severe weather this time of the day, but shows you we can have it at any time. So this moving into Nevada at this time. Let me pull up reflectivity real quick. Chris, you got anything new on this? Anything?
Nothing for that particular storm. Just a quick update. We do have the severe thunderstorm warnings northeast Oklahoma continuing. The good news is, at least at this point, they have not added that tornado possible tag back to these storms. But again, continuing to very closely monitor that storm near the Veneta area, which we'll take up here. And we're going to just zoom in. We've got another heavy cell right over Joplin right now. We've seen a lot of lightning with these storms. I want to emphasize the danger of the lightning as well. Very intense across the area, frequent lightning, especially out of the more intense cells themselves. So we also still have this activity that's down around, in between roughly Claremore and that Locust Grove area. And as you monitor the loop here, they're lifting northeast. So Grove, J, Veneta, this big cluster down here is going to be up next for you. And we're monitoring this storm now, again, north of Veneta. Doesn't look as impressive now on radar as it did a little bit ago. But again, still, as we've been mentioning, and as we're having right now, just how quickly we can get spin-ups out of these, and even potentially storms that could produce even momentary tornadoes on the ground. So we want to watch all of this very closely, because we're not going to get the same warning time that we would in a traditional tornado situation where we have a supercell. As I mentioned, you in a way, you see it coming. You see the storm, you see it intensifying, you can see that rotation early and start to have that advance warning. That is not going to be the case with some of these storms this morning. We may not necessarily see it until it's already happening. Again, some good news is, at least at this point, we have some new information. They're continuing the tornado warning for northwestern Vernon County and northwestern St. Clair County until 8:15 this morning, saying that they have a radar-confirmed tornado. So I'm going to drag it up. So if you look closely, you can see where that new warning box is. It still does include Nevada. This is the new warning box. This one right here, with this storm continuing to lift to the north and east at about 70 miles an hour. Again, it is a radar-confirmed tornado at this point. If you are in Nevada, you need to take shelter immediately. This is going to be coming into Shell City, Harwood, Horton, Johnson City, Appleton City, Taborville, Walker, Metz, and of course Nevada, as it continues to lift off to the north and east there. So, and again, it's moving at approximately 70 miles an hour. So what we'll do is, I'm going to back this out and we'll just get you a quick storm track on this and give you some timings on this storm and that rotation as it lifts off. So we're talking Moundville.
When you do that, let's go back over to me real quick.
Yeah, let's head over to Doug real quick.
Yeah, so very big CC drop here. So we got definitely debris that is being lofted, and this is right on top of Nevada. In fact, I'll pull up the velocity. So if you saw that CC drop, it's right here. You see the higher reflectivity right here. So it shows massive rotation. So we got a tornado on the ground going right through Nevada. Got to be in your shelter at this time as this continues to race northeast. So it'll be out in Nevada here very quickly. Look at this on the reflectivity. Look at this. So the wind's whipping in behind it, and then all this inflow notch right in here. So our tornado is probably right on the east side of Nevada. Now, the radar scans, where it's live radar, but it still takes a couple minutes to get a scan. So this is going to jump here shortly all the way up toward Walker. So if you live in Walker, because these storms are moving so fast, it may look like the tornado's here right now, but I guarantee it's already gone through Nevada or passing through right now. And then it's going to jump up here as we get through about the next 3 or 4 minutes. So let me zoom in. This should stay just to the north and to the west of El Dorado Springs. Let me zoom in here. So you got the little town of Walker. It looks like little roads of EM Highway, so that area, and then the little town of Hardwood as well. So you guys definitely want to go ahead and take shelter, but you can definitely see that inflow notch pushing in with that storm. Checking out a couple little warnings here. All right, so yeah, we're still tornado on the ground with this, and very, very defined signature here. So this is going to wrap just on the northeast side of Nevada and then push toward the little town of Walker in northern parts of Vernon County. Zooming out just a bit, Shell City, if this stays on the ground, that's the next decent populated area. So you guys, Walker, Hardwood, and Shell City, those are going to be the areas that really need to watch this. Looking back toward the south, thunderstorms through Jasper County, Cherokee County as well, intensifying a little bit in northeastern parts of Oklahoma. I'm really kind of waiting for that next scan to come in. Again, like I was talking, radars are live, they're always working, but our radars, they sweep this way, then they have to sweep this way, so it takes 3 or 4 minutes to get a scan. And when you have storms moving 40, 50, 60 miles per hour, that's why you see with the scans, you'll see these jumps that go 5 miles or so each scan. So we're about ready to get a scan in. I'm going to assume it jumps to about right here, and we'll see if it still has that very strong signature. But you can see the inflow notch coming in. This guy, if it can merge with this storm, would cut off that inflow notch and then cut this tornado down, but we'll see what happens. Anything new popping out here, Chris?
Nothing new so far on the Vernon County storm at this point. And I guess in a way some good news. Nothing new coming out of the Northeast Oklahoma stores. We still have the severe thunderstorm warnings in northeastern Oklahoma, and this is of course going to be for Delaware, Rogers, Ottawa, and outside of our immediate area, Tulsa, Wagner, Maize, and Craig counties. These will continue through let's see here, 8:15 this morning. These storms moving northeast at 45, still 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, nickel-sized hail. But as you can see also on the radar, they are beginning to intensify a bit as they're rolling into Miami. So this is coming up right now over the Will Rogers Turnpike, just immediately north of it, into parts of Craig County and western Ottawa County is that portion of the line. And then, as I mentioned as well, we have that large cell that's down off to the south and west of there, also lifting to the northeast. It's part of this entire complex. And again, just backing it up just shortly, you can see that this massive bunch here is continuing to push northeast. So all of this eventually getting into southwest Missouri. It is still severe. It is still something that we want to watch very, very carefully out there over the next couple of hours. Doug, we're going to send it back to you.
Yeah, got a new radar scan here, and this has actually tightened up even a little bit more. So this is now northeast of Nevada. It's moving into Walker right now. Very tight circulation, still has debris on the ground. I'm going to switch it over to velocity, and you'll be able to see right where this is. So this is right on the town of Walker. So Nevada proper, you are clear from the tornado. So this is right on top of Walker, still a tornado on the ground and racing off toward the north and to the east. Let me switch it over to reflectivity here, and you can see right in here. See this little ball? That's our tornado. So your little inflow, tornadoes right here, right on top of Walker. I saw a new warning, little update. Let me read it here. It's just an update on the track. So let's go ahead and zoom out, and then I'll zoom in. We'll talk about the areas it's going. So here's our ball. That's our little debris ball, not a big debris ball, but a little one, but doing damage, lifting trees, possibly houses. Hardwood, you need to be in your shelter. This is only about 30 seconds away, maybe a minute away, because the radar's jumping so fast. Shell City, you only got about 5 minutes. So Shell City, you need to go ahead and take shelter as this is heading right toward you. So here is the Vernon County Bates line. So you can see Rich Hill up here. And once it passes Shell City, it will move into the Springfield TV market. But we need to watch this as it continues to push through. It's had a tornado on the ground now for about 20 minutes. Did see a report that semi flipped over just north of Arma, and that was when this storm was back in Crawford County. So it's at least had the history of dropping tornadoes. Still very strong signature, right? It's probably passing just north of Walker now, probably right in this location. Again, radar sweeping sideways, up and down, so it takes 2-3 minutes to get a new scan. Even though it's live working. So Hardwood, Shell City, you guys are next. You're just a few minutes out. Go ahead and take shelter. Again, as Chris has been mentioning all morning long, a lot of people trying to get to work, kids to school, but you got to pay attention. I know we usually don't have severe weather this time of the day. So where do you want to go? A lot of areas don't have basements here, so if you don't, make sure you get into an interior bathroom, cover your head, couch cushions, something just to protect yourself from flying debris. But still, that very strong signature just north of Walker. Nevada, you are in the clear at this time from this tornado. Of course, we have more storms that are pushing in. You can see that inflow notch has picked up even more. You can really see the air just ripping into this. And there it goes. So there's the air. So the new scan, let me move the radar here just a second. But you can see new scan, that huge inflow all the way up to Shell City. So this tornado is right there. So you can see all this air ripping in and wrapping counterclockwise. Shell City, so this is right on top of you. Let me get a new velocity here, pull this out, and you can see right there. There's your tornado. So probably 2 or 3 miles southwest of Shell City. Let me pull up the CC, see if we have debris. We definitely got debris being launched right there. So this is still on the ground. So definitely need to take shelter northeastern parts of Vernon County as this continues to push off toward the north and to the east. So I'm going to wait for a couple more, or another scan to come in. So we'll throw it back to Chris now, and he can cover some of the other storms.
Yeah, so far, again, we just want to take a moment to remind you, of course, of those tornado safety tips here. If you're in a vehicle, get out and into a sturdy building. You want to, the last resort, get into a ditch or buckle up and get down. In public buildings, inside rooms away from windows are best. In your home, if you do not have a basement, if you do not have a storm shelter, that is where you need to be. An interior room, a closet, something that's inside in the center of the home, away from the windows, outside walls. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as you can. Of course, stores, if you are in a retail area, just make sure you follow what they're telling you in terms of making sure that you are in a safe place. Because again, this is the thing. We have those safe rooms. For example, in Joplin, we've got one not far from my house, but I told the family, I said, with how quickly this could develop, you may not necessarily have time to get into the car and drive to that safe room. So you need to know where your safe place is in your home or in your place of business, because with how quickly these are spinning up, you may not have that time, again, to get to that nearest storm shelter. So here's a look. The only other warnings that we have still stretch back through northeastern Oklahoma. Take a look at these cells. Again, very intense cells, very heavy rainfall, a lot of electricity with these storms as well, and they are continuing to lift off to the north and to the east. I'm going to take a look and see what the current speeds are on these. They're moving roughly northeast at about 45 miles an hour. So, if we even take that into account with this particular batch here. It's a big cell. It's a big, mean-looking one. So we're looking at Miami here in about 10 to 13 minutes. Joplin not long after at about 8:36. Monette, Mount Vernon 9:05, 9:20. So again, this is not tornado warned. And the good news is, at least at this point, we do not have that tornado possible tag associated with it. But it is a big mess of a storm. And as we've seen through the morning, we have that potential for spin-up tornadoes along this entire line as it continues to roll through the area. We're going to send it back over to Doug with any updates that you might have over there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yes, severe weather is definitely going to continue as we go through the morning hours. So, first off, tornado watch is chopping up or being dropped on the Kansas side. Again, if storms have already pushed through, you don't have to worry about any more severe weather. We do have those severe thunderstorm warnings. Northeastern Oklahoma still have our confirmed tornado on the ground in northeastern parts of Vernon County. So we're going to zoom into that, and then we'll back out in just a bit. But this is on top of Shell City right now. You can still see that inflow notch, so the air turning into this storm, which turns the storm, and our tornado is moving right on top of Shell City. If you are in Walker, because it just went on top of you, you can come out of your storm shelter or your safe place at this time. Of course, Nevada, about 10 minutes ago, you were done with this storm. But we're just watching this to see if this continues. But again, this is on the ground. So where you see this darker red, that is a confirmed tornado on the ground. This is moving into St. Clair County. So after Shell City, if you live into St. Clair County, you need to go ahead and take shelter. I'm going to back this up. We're going to look at this line here. Very intense. And the reason the atmosphere has been unstable. Last night, even yesterday evening, we just couldn't get through the cap to get those bigger storms last night. But this is a linear line. But within the line, we've been getting individual storms popping up. And you can see the front still back here. So we're getting additional storms firing up back towards Chanute, but the atmosphere is overworked, so we don't have to worry about those. It's still very unstable here, southwestern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas, so especially as these guys in northeastern Oklahoma get into McDonald County, Newton County, Berry County, we really want to watch those as we go through the next couple hours. Let me zoom back in, another radar scan, still right on, ongoing. Shell City, it's probably about ready to pass into St. Clair County and get out of Vernon County, which of course we all definitely want. Looking a little bit farther south, here's Miami, Veneta, those severe thunderstorm warnings which are continuing to push through. Thankfully, we're not seeing anything rotate with those. We are getting a storm that's popping up in McDonald County and this whole structure pushing into northwestern Arkansas. So this mess is going to lift just south of the I-44 corridor. The areas that haven't seen any storms as of yet. Let's go through time. So it's roughly 8 o'clock in the morning pretty much now. So as we continue, you can see the severe storms chugging east. So here's about 8:30, and still you can see our high-res model is picking up, even on the storms coming out in northeastern Oklahoma, and those are pretty intense. So we want to continue to watch those. It looks like most of this is going to be past the metro here in about 45 minutes. And then it's all going to be southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas as we go through the rest of the morning hours. Let's continue. Here's 9:30 in the morning. Still we have very intense storms lifting northwest Arkansas, southwest Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma will be in the clear at this point in time. These storms continue to push east. So now we're looking Mount Vernon, Pierce City, Cassville. If you notice the time up top, we're looking at about 10 a.m. And I think at this time, most of us are going to be in pretty good shape. Let me back up here and we'll go back to see if we've got another radar scan here. And yes, so this morning is back down to radar indicated. So not one on the ground right now, but it's also pushing almost out of our region, which is good news. Trooper overhead, extensive damage in Nevada. He's en route now. So we know we had damage near Arma. We know we had damage in Nevada. You got anything new on that? Or
haven't seen anything new. We've got Samantha Walker down here. Of course, she's been checking on information as well. Kind of similar reports, just getting those reports of damage in the Nevada area. So again, let's go through this. If we did have, extensive damage in Nevada, the number one, they do not need any onlookers. They do not need sightseers right now. They're going to need assistance from first responders and those that are going to be able to help with any kind of debris removal, cleanup. Again, we do not know the level of damage in the Nevada area at this time, but still getting those reports of potentially extensive damage. So sightseers, please stay away from Nevada, stay away from this area where this tornado tracked. Additionally, storms aren't quite done yet. And so if you're just out sightseeing, you're putting yourself and others in danger. But first responders, obviously, heading into the area, want to make sure that we'll have a crew up there as soon as it is safe to do so, and get some information from Nevada, and we'll, of course, continue to monitor that. As Doug mentioned, the one, at least little piece of good news is we are seeing this as now just a radar indicated tornado threat. So that means that at least at this point, the intense rotation, at least the debris indications seem to have let up on this. That does not mean you're completely out of the woods. It's still a tornado warning. It's still radar indicated. And as we have seen all morning, it can very quickly spin up again and potentially produce another tornado. It is beginning to exit our area. Also some good news, but we are still continuing to monitor storms across the region. We have this pretty hefty cell now rolling into the southeastern portions of Cherokee County, so just west of Joplin. In fact, taking a look outside at our camera at 7th and Range Line, that sky has gotten quite dark off to the west, and so there's a live view from 7th and Range Line. Our tower camera there, we got some rain obviously, but that sky getting quite dark, especially when you compare it just to the north and west of that same spot. Again, this is not at this time moving into Cherokee County and into Jasper County. This particular storm is not severe warned, but skies are getting quite dark out there, and we're continuing to monitor, of course, our other cameras if we see anything. So far, thankfully, at least from that perspective, we're looking okay there. Again, no new information, though. We have the severe thunderstorm warnings. The ones in northeast Oklahoma still continue, as you see, until 8:15 this morning. We have not seen any new information, any new updates. We're talking 60-mile-an-hour winds, nickel-sized hail, now moving about east at 40 miles an hour. So that's really about it at this point. And, of course, now rolling into the Grove area, we have this very large cell. Take a look at the size of this, and take a look at the lightning on the leading edge of this from Grove down toward Jay. That's the other thing we faced. As these storms came through our area here, we took a few power hits at the station. That's 124 lightning strikes in that zone alone out there. And lightning, dangerous. It is deadly. It's something you, of course, do not want to mess with out there whatsoever. So we're okay. New severe thunderstorm warning. Speak of the devil, coming out now, Cherokee County into Jasper County. It looks like maybe extreme northwestern Newton County. as well. So let's take a quick look here. This is eastern Cherokee, northwestern Newton, and Jasper County until 8:45 a.m. So the good news on this, no tornado possible tag, which is good for now. 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-size hail with this storm, and it is moving northeast at about 55 miles an hour. Again, though, definitely want to put that emphasis on the fact of how quickly we have seen these storms spin up. This one doesn't have that indication at this time, but things could change very quickly. You definitely want to be on guard with any of these storms this morning because any of them will have that potential. So, of course, Baxter Springs, Purcell, Asbury, Neutral, Carytown, Duquesne, Riverton, Carthage, Oakland Park, Joplin, Oronogo, Loma Linda, Alba, Galena, Airport Drive, Iron Gates, Crestline. You kind of get the idea here as to the position of this particular storm and this warning. This again will go until 8:45 this morning and is lifting off to the north and to the east at about 55 miles an hour. So we'll want to continue to monitor that. Of course, we're continuing to monitor the situation in Nevada, working to get information on what may have taken place in the city. Obviously, we had that tornado signature pass through. We are getting reports of damage in the Nevada area, and we, of course, will continue to keep you updated on that and monitor that situation as well. Just making sure we're not looking at anything new. We still have the severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, I think it's been extended here for parts of northeastern Oklahoma. So we're talking into Ottawa County, Benton County, Craig County, Delaware, Mays, in our immediate area. So we've got this new severe thunderstorm warning runs until 8:45. Again, does not have a tornado possible tag with it, which at this time is good news. But we're looking at 60-mile-an-hour winds and nickel-size hail with that particular storm as it continues to lift off to the northeast. So that warning has been updated into northeastern Oklahoma, and this is the portion of it that extends out into western Benton County out there. And we're, again, just continuing to monitor the storms across the area this morning. Doug, we're going to send it over to you with any updates that you may have.
Yeah, just kind of looking over everything. So to kind of recap, if you are just jumping off with that.
And Doug, we think your microphone is turned off. Got to save those batteries.
Yeah, got to save those batteries. All right, so to recap what we have been seeing so far through the morning hours, of course, we've had this band of showers and thunderstorms, but the atmosphere is still very unstable, and that's why within some of these storms, we've been getting those spin-up tornadoes. Now, if you live on the Kansas side, your severe threat now is pretty much gone as these storms work through. Once they get through, the atmosphere is overworked, the winds are switching toward the west, and things start to get much better. We still have that tornado threat, at least in the next couple hours, especially southwest Missouri, northwestern Arkansas. So our tornado warning, this kind of fired up just north of Pittsburgh near Arma. I know we had at least a semi which was flipped over on 69, which could have been, I mean, obviously from the wind, or it could have been from a tornado touchdown because that was right where that storm was. We know it was on the ground moving into Vernon County. We have supposedly extensive damage in Nevada, and that comes from a state trooper. And then this storm moved up toward Walker and then up toward Shell City and now is in northern parts of St. Clair County and has weakened just a little bit. So it's out of our immediate area. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings, Cherokee County, Jasper County, a sliver of Newton, Craig, Ottawa, Delaware, and then also Benton County in northwestern Arkansas. So look at this line, very intense line. The reason we've had the spin-ups, obviously it's very unstable, but we're getting these kind of individual little supercells, and you can see these kind of splitting up a bit as they push right along that I-44 corridor. So I would definitely want to pay attention as these continue to push through southwestern Missouri, because when you get these kind of individual cells, those are the ones that like to rotate. And you can see the very intense storms pushing out of northeastern parts of Oklahoma, getting into Benton County as well. Now, all this stuff on the backside, this is just because of instability, but not enough to give us severe weather. The atmosphere is overworked in southeastern Kansas. Let's go ahead and zoom in. We're going to look at our severe thunderstorm warning. So this is in Jasper County, and this storm is racing north and east. So pretty intense. Right on top of Carl Junction right now. Of course, you got 96 Highway over toward Oronogo and Carthage. You guys will get into the action. And then right up I-49 toward the town of Jasper. That's about 10 to 15 minutes away. This extends back toward Baxter Springs. In the thick of things, of course, Baxter Springs got quite a bit of storm damage on Saturday night with those thunderstorms working through. Heaviest rain, let's go into Joplin, mainly north of 7th Street, so kind of on the northwest side of downtown Joplin. And this cell, all these are pushing off toward the north and to the east. So let me back out here just a bit, but you can see these guys are going to race in this direction. So anything that affects south side of Joplin is going to have to come out of northeastern parts of Oklahoma. So if we track a little bit farther south, severe thunderstorm warnings continue. So this is Ottawa County, very intense storm. These are all producing winds at 60 to 65 miles per hour. Plus on top of that, most of these storms are containing quarter-size hail, which quarter-size hail is 1-inch hail and has enough to do some damage. Let's go a little bit farther south and west, Delaware County, so Grand Lake and south toward Jay. You also have severe thunderstorm warning. You got one pushing in, one pushing out. So this guy is lifting out of Delaware County, working into western parts of McDonald County, and then this extends into Benton County. So Benton County, Arkansas, also getting into the action. We got, let me see, back this up just a bit. We've had, let's see here. Okay, so a little thunderstorm just southeast of Neosho down toward Goodman, but thankfully not severe. Let's go north, and we're going to go up toward Nevada again. Hopefully we'll see what damage looks like as that stuff, those reports keep coming in, but they're still dealing with showers and thunderstorms, not severe. The storm that produced the tornado is way up toward Appleton City now in northwestern parts of St. Clair County and racing out of the region. So tornado threat, immediate tornado threat, we don't have to worry about that at this time, but it doesn't mean some of these storms can't produce additional tornado threat as they start to work in. Let me go ahead and stop this, and I'm going to switch this. I'm going to take off the radar here. I'm going to take off the lightning. We're going to look at hail and see if these storms have been producing any hail. So not a lot of hail within these storms. So these are mainly just wind makers. They've been producing those winds at 60 to 70 miles per hour. Let me check out a couple new little, let's see here. I did see, I'm looking at some of the reports coming in. Do see a power pole that is over in Arcadia, Kansas. So when that tornado warning moved through Arma to Arcadia, so it definitely touched down near Arma and also Arcadia. So we are starting to get in some tornado damage reports. Of course, it's daylight, thankfully, now, so we're going to get those in pretty quickly as we go through the next couple hours. So again, you can see all of our severe thunderstorm warnings continuing to light the radar up. Eastern parts of Cherokee County, Jasper County, a slither of Newton County, Ottawa County, Craig County, Delaware County, into Benton County, Arkansas. Let me put this back on here and let's see here. Okay, so these storms, again, this one in Jasper County looks like it has weakened just a bit. Still very intense once you get back down toward Baxter Springs and picking up a bit once you get along I-44, so Commerce to Miami. So this cell has intensified just a little bit. I'm going to back up here and just make sure that we don't have any. Okay, so we do have some new warnings that have popped out. So now we got new severe thunderstorm warnings for, let me zoom in here. All right, so we're looking all of Jasper County, severe thunderstorm warning, all of Newton County, all of McDonald County, and now the western half of Berry County. Let me read the latest on that warning. Let's see here. Yeah, it's mainly for wind at 60 to 65 miles per hour, but you can tell just how powerful these storms are. We still got an hour or two to go before our severe threat really starts to drop, but you can see these intense. So we had a pretty linear line, so that's why we were mainly getting wind. Now they're kind of stretching out into individual supercells within that line, which you never want to see. But the heaviest now pushing in and through southwestern Missouri, right along that I-44 corridor coming out of northeastern Oklahoma into northwestern parts of Arkansas. Zooming in, so let's look at these new severe thunderstorm warnings. So all of Jasper County, and this is for this cell. So here's 96 Highway, Carthage, 96. You get over toward Oronogo and Carthage. Very intense just north of Carl Junction. And again, very intense on the west side of the city of Joplin. We're getting nickel-sized hail and winds at 60. This is about ready to get into downstream Casino. I always want to watch these little notches in here because we don't want to see another tornado. This is moving into downstream Casino now, Loma Linda area, so pretty populated area once you start hitting downstream Casino. So if you live in Joplin, things are really going to light up as we go through the next couple hours. Let's go a little bit farther south. Let's check out Ottawa County. We're getting quarter-size hail, very intense rain. Looking from Commerce to Miami, down to Fairland, down to Afton, now starting to get into Seneca as well. So these storms racing northeast. So this Ottawa County storm will get into the Joplin Metro as well. Let's track a little bit farther toward the south. We'll look through Delaware County, just a mess. You got one severe thunderstorm that has worked out, now affecting Siloam Springs, Gravette, Bella Vista, up toward Pineville. Little bit of a break, and then here comes another severe thunderstorm that is rotating into Delaware County. Let's track a little bit into McDonald County because now you guys have your new warning, and this is for, again, winds at 60 to 65, quarter-size hail. Here's I-49, so Goodman, Pineville, Knoll, up to Anderson, very intense cell, which is racing off north and east. So Stella, you guys will also get into the action here pretty quick. Looking a little farther east, you can see this warning continues at least the western half of Berry County. Let's go ahead and see what's going to happen down the road. Let's go future just a bit. Thankfully, we're not going to have to deal with the severe weather all day long. So if we look at pretty much right now, so it's here, this is pretty current. You can see the line, and this is a high-res model that we use. So right along I-44, stretching up towards Stockton Lake, things starting to quiet down once you get into Kansas and also Oklahoma. Here's about 9 a.m., so let's say 45 minutes from now. You can see those intense storms, Grand Lake, up toward Neosho, mainly east of Joplin at this point, and then stretching up towards Stockton Lake. We'll continue through your morning hours. Still a line of storms. Look to possibly be weakening a bit once we pass that 9 o'clock hour as they get from Mount Vernon, Pierce City to Anderson. Hopefully that will be the case. Severe threat at this time. Kansas and Oklahoma will be dropping. And then finally, 9:30.
Doug, we've got a new tornado warning. Take a look at velocities on Max 2. Some potential rotation now just west of Galena. This includes the city of Joplin. Schools, businesses need to take shelter now. We have this new tornado warning. So there it is. They were just discussing some possible rotation. That appears to be it just to the southwest of Galena. Now, this is not anything that is particularly confirmed on the ground, but sirens are sounding. And so you need to make sure that you're taking your tornado precautions right now. If you're in Joplin, Carthage, Galena, down toward Riverton, and just to the east of Baxter Springs. This includes Loma Linda. We're talking the Mercy Hospital area as well. So let's get the information. I'm going to get data on this very quickly for you here. So this is capable of producing a tornado. This is radar indicated rotation. It is moving northeast at 60. This is going to move through take a look. If we can go to Max 2, Doug's got some additional velocity data on there. So this warning just came down. This runs until 8:45 in the morning. If you're in Joplin, undoubtedly the tornado sirens now going off. We have this line. Let's take a look.
I think it's on the ground.
Let's take a look at Joplin. Take a look at Max 1. This is okay. Look at Joplin Tower. Take a look. Right now, off to the northwest, look at this. Okay, I think that's it. Right above here. Let's take a look there. Okay, so I think this is going to be our point of concern, is this location right here. We're looking northwest from 7th and Range Line in Joplin, and Doug's saying it does look as though it is potential on the ground. Let's stay with that if we can for just a minute.
It looks like it would be very close to Central City Road, so we're talking west side of Joplin, Central City Road up toward Carl Junction. But again, this thing is moving so fast. Does that tower cam zoom in at all?
I've got that one zoomed in. I can zoom it in.
Definitely see it lowering. Let me go back to velocity here. Yeah, this thing developed fast.
Yeah, let's take back to Joplin Tower Cam. I'm going to see if I can't get it to focus a little better on the zoom here. It's
definitely east of Galena, for Galena people. So this is in between Galena and Joplin, most likely north of 7th Street, probably very close to Central City Road. Carl Junction people, especially south side. Webb City people also, as this thing is booking north and east. As Chris was saying, these guys are moving 40, 50 miles per hour. Hey, I can see the notch on radar. If you pull up Max 1 real quick, and I can show you exactly where this tornado is as Chris is getting that. So here's Galena, here's 66, right here is Central City Road. So it is now east of Central City Road. So it's in that gap just south of Fur Road, just north of 7th Street. So kind of right on the northwest side of the city of Joplin. This is going to head right toward Webb City, but you can see that inflow notch. So this is untapped air mass down here. So it's pulling right into that storm. Is it getting anything on tower cam?
It's difficult to tell. I've got our Cornell camera pointed. James, you can hot punch the Cornell camera by chance, even if we just take it full. It's difficult to tell. Cornell camera here, downtown Joplin, has a slightly better view. It's a little less obscured, but we're kind of scanning the horizon here.
The CC's come up a little bit. So it doesn't look like it's on the ground right now, but I bet there's definitely a funnel cloud, or at least a lowering.
I mean, I can zoom. We're going to zoom this in. Whoa.
Yeah, the Cornell cam is a great cam.
We're taking a look. We're looking almost due north at this point. I'm going to swing it back just a little to the west.
West a little bit. Kind of
okay,
northwest.
We'll come a little back to the northwest with this camera here and see if there's anything that's particularly evident.
Look how, when you stop the camera, so stop it real quick, and watch how fast those clouds are whipping. I mean, they are moving.
They are moving fast.
Okay, so again, we have a tornado warning. Let's see here. Let me see if there's anything new on that. No. All right, so we got our tornado warning. So this is northwest side of Joplin at this point in time. You can still see our velocity. Little couplet. We're looking for it on tower cam. Let's go back and pull up Max 1 so I can show you guys exactly where it is. Inflow has been cut off just a bit. If you can get Max 1 up for me, that'd be great. All right, so inflow has been cut off just a bit, so we're looking Joplin, but it's this little donut hole. So this is moving right toward Webb City High School. So this is right about Stone's Corner right now. So you may try to go see if you can get anything near Stone's Corner, because that's where it would be.
Okay. So we're getting some good lightning back behind the lowering there.
Yeah, there's a hail core moving into Carl Junction, but that would be our tornado. Webb City, need to take shelter. Stone's Corner, Airport, Webb City proper, as this is pushing through. This is still radar indicated. We at least got a lowering. It looked like we had a CC drop for a bit as it pushed past Galena. When I say a CC drop, we look for this discoloration here, and that shows us where we are picking up debris. So it could be briefly touching down, or it could just be whipping in some stuff, some tree branches, but very serious situation because it can drop. We've had several tornadoes through the morning, but this is very close to Stone's Corner and the airport, and is continuing to track north and east and at a very rapid pace. So on latest velocity scan, you can see this right here, and that's right where it's rotating. I want to see if a new scan will come in.
Wow. Still got good lightning still. Taking a look at the Joplin Tower cam.
Real quickly, Chris.
Yeah, what do you got there, Doug?
That's concerning too. Just south of Joplin.
Yeah, okay. Sorry about that, James. We can go back to Max 1 real quick. Yeah, I see what you're talking about there.
Yeah, just south
with
of downstream.
another notch there that's trying to form up. So I'm going to take a look on.
So we need to watch all those. I'll let you pull up tower cam real quick, and I'm going to.
Okay, so here's a live look. We're going to start. Wow, if you're seeing some impressive lightning here. This is 7th and range line. We are looking back approximately to the northwest. Familiar with Joplin, we do have it zoomed in just a bit. Definitely dark clouds, definitely low clouds. We have not yet seen anything specific on here, but we have. We are continuing to track this. What do we got here,
We
Doug?
got a pretty good correlation drop.
Okay, yeah.
Right about where Harps is.
Let's
Yeah,
head back.
there- yeah, go back to read-
okay,
yeah,
yeah. Take
we
a
got
look.
tornado
Take a
on the
look at
ground.
that. We're
that's
trying
on
to
the
see it
ground.
from here, but my goodness.
Yeah, that's on the ground for sure. So you play with the tower cam. This curl right in here. So this is about where Harps is. So the airport, Harps, definitely have one on the ground. Or at least touching the ground. But this is now Webb City, so Orinoco. You guys want to start paying attention as this is going to race in your direction. So this is probably about ready to pass 43 Highway 2-3 miles north of the, I call it the Circle of Death, the roundabout at 43 and 171. So right there, so about 2 or 3 miles north, right where the airport is, that's a hail core. That's got to be on the ground. Anything new on that, Chris, from chat?
Nothing new at this point,
that's
other
on
than
the
just the
ground.
tornado warning itself right now. But yeah, definitely seeing that, Doug, as you mentioned on the CCs there.
Yeah, Orinoco, you need to take shelter.
KOTV in Tulsa,
definitely.
they are monitoring that area of circulation you were discussing that's back behind this one into Ottawa County. They've got trackers on that one right now. Okay, just new information just came in. Tornado warning is continuing for central Jasper County. It's still radar indicated rotation from this latest update here for that tornado warning. So that's what we've got. But man, Doug's showing you right now, and we've been showing you. Take a look at Joplin Tower Cam now. It is definitely racing off to the east here. Let me zoom it out. That's as far as we zoom out here. Our Cornell camera's kind of gotten overrun by rain. And of course, it's now moving behind the buildings in downtown, so can't see that very well from there. But there's definitely that lowering there. And I would say, if it's not in that zone, it's got to be pretty close. Look at that, and look at the movement. Look at the motion on those clouds up there.
Yeah, new radar scan would show it kind of in between the gap of the Joplin Airport and DD kind of. So here's 43, so Ivy kind of cuts here. So very close to Ivy, almost just due south of Orinoco, but it's right in there. The rotation is weakened just a hair. So I'm hoping
I'm not sure, but I think this might be it here on our tower cam. You go 7th and range line.
Yeah,
I think that's it right there. That's what we are looking at.
Or at least that's the tail end of it.
Yeah, for sure. It is, but it is continuing to race off. You see, look at how quick it is moving.
Yeah, so it's ripping into the north side of there. So that's the kind of the rear flank of it. But yeah, so you can't see anything on the ground, but obviously we've had enough warnings on the ground today, so you want to take that seriously for sure. Looking at the radar with that, yeah, that would be very close.
Got an update. Troopers overheard that the tornado is near Stone's Corner. This was just a minute or two ago. Storm spotter, tornado on the ground near the Joplin Airport.
Okay, so yeah.
So we're starting to get some information on this particular storm here.
And I would say it's just northeast of by the time that message got written in, it's northeast of the Joplin Airport. So I really think it's right about where Ivy is. So 43 to Ivy, probably 2 or 3 miles south. And then, of course, Ivy goes right on into the south side of Orinoco. Okay, new radar scan. I bet it's on the south side of Orinoco right now. So Orinoco, you guys got to be in your shelter. And of course, I'm talking to my wife right now. You got to be in your shelter if you live in Orinoco as this storm continues to push off toward the east. Clearing up, I think, from the airport back toward Carl Junction. you guys are looking a little bit
Yeah, I've got
better.
some CCs on Max 2 for you
Great.
on that side screen where we're looking around the Orinoco area right now. So that's what we're looking at there, and on velocity, that's where we definitely have that tighter circulation just right around the Orinoco area at this point. And again, we've been continuing to try and see it as it moves through. Our cameras can only see so far, and so we are getting to a point where it's going out of the range of these cameras at this time. But it is something that we are watching very closely.
You can see the CC drop right on Orinoco. So there's probably still one on the ground in Orinoco. And of course, we've had the history of doing damage with multiple tornadoes. So this is in Orinoco doing damage. It will quickly push off toward the north and to the east. So if you live in Purcell, if you live in Alba, you guys are next. You guys need to get in your shelter immediately, as that still looks like there's something on the ground. You can see Alba is just northeast of there, and then eventually Carytown north of Carthage here in about 5 minutes. Let's see here, let me switch it back to reflectivity. I think overall it's gotten a little messier. I think it's trying to recycle. So here, if you look at this, let's see here, let me draw here. If you see this little inflow here, so that's where the tornado is. So it's probably passing by Orinoco right now, but we may get a little recycling where something tries to develop out ahead of that. So yeah, we just want to keep watching this. But again, Orinoco, Carthage, go ahead, take shelter. Alba, Purcell, Carytown, that I-49 stretch north. This is now, at least the rotating part is out of North Joplin, is past Stones Corner, Carl Junction. So that is good. Very intense cell, again, from Galena to Joplin. I always want to watch these notches because that's how the one that is in Orinoco developed, are these little notches, to see if we get some inflow within them. But again, severe thunderstorm warning on that. Still tornado warning passing by. Let's see here. A little better look at this. Still looks to be on Orinoco or just to the east, northeast. Let's see if I get any correlation drops on this. Give me a second here. Yeah, so there's still a CC drop. It looks like a tornado went right through Orinoco, so right on 96, passing north. So right in here, so this is going to get over into Purcell and of course Alba, but still a pretty good CC drop, which tells me there's probably been a tornado on the ground, or there probably is one on the ground at this point in time. Here's 96, here's Orinoco, very close to Bess Truman School as this continues to push north and east. Now this thing is rapidly moving, so it's going to be out of there real quick. In fact, the latest radar scan, now I would say if there is still a tornado, it's in Alba now. So it's past Orinoco now as it continues to push. And this is going to hit I-49 north of Carthage, probably 2 or 3 miles. Let me see if there's anything new on that.
Yeah, I just checked, and I haven't seen anything particularly new so far with this storm. No new updates out of it. Still listed as a radar indicated tornado threat at this point, but we've been tracking it with the radar data here. We're definitely seeing that. And then Doug, as you mentioned, that area you were concerned about, background downstream, still not as impressive, but still a little bit of a notch on that as well. And of course, we have the severe thunderstorm warnings that continue with this line as it continues to roll through the area. We're going to be dealing with this for just a little while longer out there. And just some other information for those who are out. We've got a car into the front of the community clinic in downtown Joplin this morning. 7th Street's blocked down around 7th and Joplin. Not related to the storm, certainly just a vehicle accident, but just a kind of a crazy morning. Doug, so yeah, there's a live look right now of this vehicle into the front of the community clinic downtown. So that's going on. And then, of course, we've got these thunderstorms. We're getting torrential rainfall.
Where's that at?
This is at 7th and Joplin. My wife works there. She was actually trying to get a hold of me to let me know that she works at the front desk. And Yeah, that just happened a few minutes ago. So it was not thrown into the building by any means. It's just a vehicle accident.
Probably
but,
hydroplaned or something.
Yeah, and look at the water filling up now on 7th Street. That rain is unleashing now. And look at how fast that water is pooling up there on 7th Street. So that's going to be the other concern. Some bonding on the roadways, hydroplaning definitely going to be a possibility. Continuing to monitor all of these storms as they roll through the area. Again, right now, we do have that tornado warning that's in extreme eastern Vernon County for this cell that's lifting off to the northeast. And then another portion, you see the latest scan there, just updated. So we've got the other one that's near Osceola, lifting off to the north and east as well. So Osceola, you are in it. Stockton, it is to your north. El Dorado Springs, you are right on the doorstep of this as well with this particular tornado warning it's going through. So through 9 a.m. For the one that's heading toward Osceola, the one's up there right now, and 8:45 a.m. for the tornado warnings back behind that around the El Dorado Springs area. The one stretches into eastern Vernon County. So yeah, we're just getting new information. Another one for, okay, this is northern St. Clair County through 9 a.m. there. Radar indicated rotation on both of those. Still radar indicated, of course, for the one in now northeastern Jasper County. Still looks impressive, and honestly, this whole cell looks impressive. And this is what we were talking about, is these were entering an area untapped. Instability's present. Even though they looked less impressive in Oklahoma, they were coming into some energy, and that is exactly what they are doing. They are tapping into it, and we are seeing that rapid intensification. And again, with these spin-up storms like this, the lead time on the warnings is very limited, and they can pop up very quickly. So this warning, just looking at the, tell you what, let's go back. I just want to look at the zone itself that warning includes in terms of community. So the northern half of Carthage, of course, Carytown, Alba, you're right on the far western edge of this. Dudenville, Maple Grove, Jasper, you are now in part of this tornado warning as well. Still radar indicated. It still runs until 8:45, but that again is what we are looking at. And of course, just a tremendous amount of lightning with these storms as well. And while we're not anticipating anything severe, as you see, we've still got development on the backside of this line, but not anticipating anything severe with that activity.
No, if we go back to Max 1, we'll take a look at this tornado warning. Good news here is we're not seeing the CC drop. So we know this isn't on the ground anymore. We know it was on the ground back toward Stone's Corner. We know it was probably on the ground moving into Oronogo. It's now north of Carthage. You can still see where the drop in the CC, but it's not that debris signature that we really usually look for. Also, when I pull out velocity, you can still see a little nugget of rotation, so about 3 miles north of Carthage, but again, it looks to be much, much weaker, which of course, that is the sign that we want to see. Now, if we look at the radar, reflectivity, it would be right in here, but it just doesn't have that inflow, that low-level air coming into the storm, and now it's kind of merged with this back cell. So this is good news. Still a severe thunderstorm, but that rotation part of the storm has really weakened. And then it gets kind of messy once you go a little bit farther south. Newton County, we got this storm here, and we got this storm over here, but I don't see anything overly concerning right now. We're getting winds, of course, at 60 to about 65 miles per hour. Let's see, going back to the Jasper County storm, just to clear people. Carl Junction, you're clear. Webb City, you're clear. Joplin, you're clear from this tornado warning. Oronogo, you are clear. Carthage, just go ahead and stay in shelter for at least a few more. Alba, you are clear. Purcell, you are clear. Trying to think of any other towns right around there, but you guys are clear from the tornado warning, even though sirens may still be going off. This is now located north of Carthage, about 3 or 4 miles, but the rotation is greatly weakened, which is good news. All right, so let's go back south. First off, let me pan out here just a bit so I can draw a line for you. So severe threat, so here's this line. So we usually have severe weather at night, so I always do my go to bed circle. This is more of a, hey, you're in a clear west of that line. So most of the severe weather now is in northwest Arkansas, southwest Missouri. As Chris mentioned, we still have thunderstorms behind it, but these are most likely not going to be severe. Zooming back into Jasper County here, I'll pull up the velocity. Just these have been developing so fast all morning. You got to stay on top of them, or we'll get quick little spin ups. But again, not seeing any drops on correlation, which is good. Not seeing much on velocity, which is good. And then reflectivity, we're still seeing this storm now pushing into northeastern Jasper County. National Weather Service obviously agrees because they haven't extended this tornado warning into Lawrence and Dade County, which is good. Heading south, Cassville, you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning again. Quarter-size hail, winds nearly 60 miles per hour, so this is getting into Cassville, down toward Eagle Rock, Roaring River, Seligman. You guys are all in line for that. Tracking a little farther south, we'll go into Benton County, Bella Vista to Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale. You guys are also getting a storm with winds at about 60 and quarter-size hail. Pretty powerful storm rolling out of Delaware County. So this is Grand Lake to Jay, Southwest City. You guys, we'll get into it here pretty quick. Intense line, which is pushing through, and this extends up into southern parts of Ottawa County. You can see the new radar sweep there. So we want to watch this line because it's working into this area, McDonald County and Benton County. Some of this area has not seen storms yet, so if you haven't gotten any rain, the atmosphere still, you get into these little areas that the atmosphere can be a little bit more unstable, and of course you get little spin-ups. That's what happened with the Joplin storm. It just rolled right into a region that had not seen any storms yet, and of course got a little rotation couplet. All right, zooming back in on this. It does not look good for a tornado. It looks good for not having tornadoes, but it just looks a little bit disorganized right now. Pretty good hail core, I would bet, just east of I-49. So again, Carthage, you guys are now in the clear. Purcell, Alba, Oronogo, Carl Junction, Webb City, Joplin is in the clear of this tornado warning, despite if sirens are still going off. And in fact, I would be willing to bet there is no lowering or even funnel cloud with this at this time. Still severe thunderstorm warning, Jasper County, Ottawa County. Let me back up here, and you can kind of see the progression of these storms. But tornado watch will continue to fall off Kansas and Oklahoma as we go through really the next hour or two. We're kind of on this back line here. Yes, there's thunderstorms behind it. Atmosphere's overworked. We can't rule out that if these get ahead of the front that we could see, a severe thunderstorm warning from that line as they push off toward the east. But really, I think this line right here, right along the I-44 corridor, that is most likely the end or the main show coming to a close, which is good. Zooming back in, I assume they're just going to allow that tornado warning to expire. Have you seen anything? What do you got? I see you got something pulled up.
Yeah, we're starting to get some reports in from the Nevada area. A tornado track has been reported from the south through east side of Nevada. Multiple semi-trucks overturned on I-49. Roofs are off structures, trees uprooted. They believe this track may extend southwest through Moundville, where additional damage reports have been received, and now just getting damage to two roofs on Highway 47, about 2.5 miles west of Girard, saying that a roof was taken off of the back. So we are, again, as these storms clear through, we're starting to get the assessments, we're starting to get the information on, what has happened out there. But still, obviously a very serious situation. Again, in those areas, they do not need sightseers right now. They need first responders. They need people that are there to help. So stay clear of those regions as you can through the morning hours. And of course, we'll have crews out there as well. So that way you don't need to go and look. We'll do the looking for you, and we'll do it safely and out of the way. But still, again, we're continuing to track all this, looking for any new updates. Nothing really new coming out at this point. Torrential rainfall from the storm in Joplin, even from our tower cams, visibility has been significantly reduced there. And so, just these intense storms continuing to roll through the area. But it's one of those things, I think at this point, no news is good news. We're not getting any extensions of any tornado warnings, any of the other warnings that are out there. But we're still not quite done with this line. So we're going to continue to track it here. Doug, do you have anything new on your end?
Yeah, we usually don't get a lot of severe weather in the morning, but we are in severe weather season, so you got to always take them seriously. And we've had several tornadoes that have touched down through the morning hours, but thankfully this will start to wind down. And of course, as Chris said, we will have crews out there looking at damage. We have KOAM's Shannon Beckert, who's always watching this stuff. And then we have our noon show too here in 3 hours, so we'll have all that new details. And I can hear everybody running around here in the building, so they're on top of it. All right, so tornado watch still in effect. So Missouri into Arkansas, still numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. Ottawa County, Delaware County, Benton, McDonald, Newton, Barry, Jasper County. As of right now, I'm not worried about that tornado warning. Just before, I just want to make sure there's nothing new on that as soon as I say that. Okay, not concerned on that tornado warning. This cell is moving out of the region in St. Clair County. So if we look at this whole line, as they got close to that Kansas-Missouri state line, we started to break up into individual supercells within the line. And that's where they had the ability to get some inflow, some moisture, some more instability, and that's why we got the tornado that dropped just north of Pittsburgh, so near Alba, went up toward Arcadia, to Nevada, up to Shell City, and out. And as Chris mentioned, there is a tornado track, so that thing was on the ground for a while. And then we had the tornado that we had a confirmed touchdown near Stone's Corner, which I think it probably dropped farther southwest than that, probably just east of Galena, and then probably stayed on the ground all the way up toward Oronogo. And you can see how the storms are still lighting up. Now it's still very unstable out towards Springfield, so the severe weather will continue, and then it's really just going to light up again. A big day for severe weather to the east of us. Thankfully, we aren't going to have to deal with it, but our friends east, south central Missouri, southeastern Missouri, yes, they are going to have to really deal with that. All right, so let's zoom in on this here. So the tornado warning in Jasper County expires in 5 minutes. So it's just going to just act like it's already gone, unless if something new popped up. Of course, it's been a kind of a wild morning. But if we zoom in on some of these storms, so we're looking from Golden City. So here's 126, so southeast of Lamar. So Golden City tracking back into northern parts of Jasper County. Very intense cell. So here's I-49, Jasper to Carthage, into northeastern parts of Jasper County. And this extends back. Carl Junction, Asbury, looking much better, even though you're still under that severe thunderstorm warning, looking much better. We still have a severe storm which moves right through the east side of Joplin. So let's say that right here's the 249 loop, and then Quick Trip, and then over towards Sarcoxy, and then this cell extends south just east of Seneca, Shoal Creek, and we can head a little bit farther south. So here's Neosho. You got I-49, so this cell between Seneca, Indigo Sky, to Neosho, severe winds at 60, quarter-size hail is going to be lifting north and east at a pretty good clip as we go through the next 30 minutes. And then you can see even a little bit farther south, this is a pretty intense cell, but this is more of a linear line, kind of like what if you were up, what we had at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, where we weren't getting much in the way of rotation, but very intense. So as long as it stays in a linear line, we can handle that. But this is moving into McDonald County, Benton County, so that's why we have the extensive warnings for winds at 60 and, of course, quarter-size hail. Now let's look on the back side. We do have some thunderstorms. These are non-severe. We are going to get some thunder. We are going to get some lightning, so these are popping up. Probably not good to go through Crawford County because we do know that storm track into Vernon County, so it's not good to have thunderstorms. But these are pretty much going to be non-severe as we get on the back side of that cold front. So how long are these going to be sticking around? Well, it's almost 9 a.m. So let's go one more slide here. So we're going to go a little past 9 a.m. These storms pushing east of Joplin. So this is almost very similar to what we're seeing now. So let me go one more notch. All right, so let's go to about 9:30. So here in about 45 minutes, pretty much Kansas, pretty much Oklahoma, clear. Still, you can see our high-res model still trying to pop a couple storms that could rotate, especially Benton County, McDonald County, eastern parts of Newton County, getting into Berry County. So we want to watch this closely as we go through the next 30, 45 minutes to an hour. And then these storms start to get into the Springfield metro area. So let's go a little farther. So here's 10 p.m. Most of our severe threat done at this time. Still some thunderstorms in our eastern counties, but everything will be racing east. But like I mentioned, as we get into the afternoon, then the radar is going to light up again central, southern Missouri, southeastern Missouri, and they will most likely get a pretty big tornado outbreak as we go through the afternoon and evening hours. I want to pull up I just want to pull up the Jasper County storm again, just so I can make sure we're looking okay with this. It looks like they're going to let that warning expire. I don't see anything that looks even remotely concerning out of that storm, minus the severe thunderstorm with winds at 60 and quarter-size hail. You got anything new over there, Chris?
So far, nothing new. And again, at this point in the morning, no news is good news so far. So that's just a look at what we do have active right now. Just kind of a cleaner look. We have those tornado watches continuing to drop off. So the tornado watches, Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee County in Kansas, and then Delaware and Ottawa County in Oklahoma, and then the ones in Missouri. These are still in effect until noon, but again, as these storms roll through, we'll start to see those watches, the watch be scaled back a bit across the area. Again, no new information on the tornado warning for Jasper County at this point. They have continued, of course, that tornado warning up around into northern St. Clair County, but other than that, things are starting to behave just a little bit more out there, but still intense line of storms out there continuing across the southern portions of our area. So through Neosho, Pineville, and then ahead of it, you've got Cassville, Seligman, Monette, Mount Vernon. Now just beginning to push out of the Grove area as well. And you see, severe thunderstorm warnings in northeastern Oklahoma have just been dropped, with the exception of southeastern and eastern Delaware County. So that's some good news as these storms continue to move off to the east. In fact, a number of warnings have just been dropped out there. And we'll go back and just kind of get that broad view. So right now, here's the only warnings that we do have active are okay. No, now we have. That's why they dropped.
A little too fast.
They have. That's why they dropped them, because they have this new one. So you remember what we said about the orange coloring there? It's a very broad area, but that orange coloring does indicate that the tornado possible tag. So this is now for until 9:45. So you're looking at Barton, Newton, Cedar. In our area, McDonald, Berry, Lawrence, Eastern Jasper County, Dade counties. So your thunderstorm warning, of course, with that orange coloring there, that's tornado is possible. Not saying there is one, but there we go. Saying these intense thunderstorms. We are looking at winds on this line here at 60 miles an hour, quarter-size hail. This line is moving now northeast at 80 miles an hour. And you recall earlier this morning we had that when this line first started going out in southeast Kansas. We're talking about movement at northeast. It was out there at 110 miles an hour, which is just absolutely wild. But we do have this. So that entire area that you see that's orange there on your screen, that is a severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado possible tag. So it's really anywhere in that point. And that's what we've talked about all morning. Within this line, we're getting those embedded circulations, and that's what's led to some of these quick spin-ups. We are unfortunately getting damage reports from some of these. So this is something you need to take seriously. You need to make sure you know where you're going in the event of a tornado warning. If you're in any of those orange areas there, make sure you know where you're going. Make sure you know what to do in the event a tornado warning is issued, because there's very little lead time to the issuance of tornado warnings because these things are spinning up so quick. So this is really the best lead time. I know it's a broad area, but by putting that tornado possible tag out there, this is your lead time. This is saying in this zone, it is a possibility anywhere along this line that we could see that. Looking to see if there's any additional information, have anything else going on into our immediate area. And so some good news is again, just things starting to settle down. We do have a number of power outages across the area as well. I mean, I think that goes without saying. The majority of the power outages, we have a new tornado warning, which we're going to get to. Majority of the power outages into Vernon County, where they're reporting a little over 5,200 folks without power. Now we have this new tornado warning. It's the southeastern Barton County, stretching to the east out there into Dade and parts of southern Cedar County. Stockton, you are not in it, but it is just to your south and east. Lamar, you are not in it. Golden City, you are in this tornado warning. You need to take your tornado precautions right now. This tornado warning through 9:15 this morning. This is again for radar indicated rotation, quarter size hail. This is part of this line. So we're talking Golden City. We've got Cedarvale, Stockton State Park, Stockton Lake, Jericho Springs as well out there. So we're going to take a look at radar on this and take a look at this just intense line of storms. And again, we just said that tornado possible tag is your heads up. Anywhere in that zone, we could get a spin up, and that's what we are seeing right now with this particular cell now into southeastern Barton County. So we'll take a look and see what we are looking at. Let me take that lightning back off of here. So yeah, this would be right around the Golden City area at this point. Not seeing anything necessarily on the debris tracker there right this minute, but again, you need to take this seriously. And as I mentioned, kind of going back real quick to that broad area of orange, this is a possibility anywhere in that line for a spin up. We're going to send it to Doug with some additional information.
Yeah, thanks for letting me get a little bit of a bathroom break there. But yeah, we are seeing the rotation just east of Golden City. So again, this is a linear line, but you get these little notches in here. So just east of Golden City, that is where our possible rotation is, or at least a lowering. This is a radar indicated tornado, so we aren't seeing anything on the ground. In between Golden City and Lockwood, if you live in Lockwood, I would go ahead, take shelter, but this thing is booking northeast 60, 70 miles per hour. So every time we get a radar scan, it jumps. So here's our rotation, probably 2 or 3 miles east of Golden City, Lockwood. I would go ahead and take shelter. Golden City, if you're listening, I would still be in shelter. But this is going to jump pretty quickly off toward the north and to the east. Now, radar, to explain that, it's live radar. It's always scanning this way and then also this way. So by the time it goes through a whole scan, by the time we get the picture, it's about 3 minutes old. So when you see these storms that are moving so fast, you're going to see a new scan, and it'll pop right up here where 97 is. So northwest of Greenfield, probably 2 or 3 miles, that's where that tornado is going to pop up here shortly. But again, as Chris was mentioning, because our severe thunderstorm warning is all orange, that is clearly the National Weather Service saying, hey guys, we can have little spin ups almost anywhere in the line, so just be prepared. If we track a little farther south, pretty good thunderstorm on top of Mount Vernon at this time. Heading into the west side of Springfield, we have a pretty good little storm down through Berry County, so Cassville, Eagle Rock, Seligman, and then down toward Rogers and also Beaver Lake in eastern parts of Benton County. Now this western fringe of this line, again, we can get little spin ups just about anywhere. So let's take a little bit of a tour. So here's Jasper County, and we want to watch these little nubs here. So this is now heading east of Carthage. So now you're looking at 96 east out, so toward Avila. But these little nubs, these are the areas that we want to watch to get a little bit of rotation. So if you're ahead of that line, so extreme eastern Jasper County or over into Lawrence or Dade County, you want to just really keep your eyes on these as they continue to push through. Let's go a little bit farther south. So now we're going to drop into Newton County. So here's I-49 to Neosho. You can see the very intense storms, winds at 60. And of course, we're getting some nickel-sized hail. But again, you got little nubs on the front side, or these little notches. So those are going to be the areas we want to watch as it pushes into over towards Stella, Purdy, getting into northwestern Berry County. Let's go a little farther south. The storm's a little beefier once you get south of Neosho. So here's I-49 south to Goodman, continues down to Anderson, Pineville, Knoll, Southwest City. Very intense cell. And again, these are the guys, especially this cell, toward Pineville, where you start getting those deeper notches. Those are the areas that we just want to watch as they push east-northeast. So pretty strong thunderstorm on top of Southwest City, and then stretching back into eastern parts of Newton County. And just to kind of recap for you guys what we have seen so far, and I'll do some drawing for you. We've had several tornado warnings. We had one a little bit earlier, so it started kind of just north of Pittsburgh, went through Nevada, up towards Shell City. We don't know if it was on the ground this whole time or if it was on the ground kind of periodically, but we do know there's extensive damage in Nevada. We know there's some damage back toward Arcadia and also Arma. Of course, we're gathering all that information. That becomes a news story from this point on. Also, we do know that we at least briefly had a tornado on the ground somewhere from about Central City over towards Stone's Corner. Probably wasn't on the ground very long, hopefully, but somewhere in that Stone's Corner area up toward Oronogo, or maybe just before it hit Oronogo, we had a tornado on the ground. So we've already had several, and then there was a tornado on the ground outside of Tulsa. So this has been a pretty wild morning. All right, so you can see the severe thunderstorm warning. The reason it's orange, of course, it's that tornado tag, and we'll go through this again. And looking at the radar, so again, severe threat is really dropping Kansas and Oklahoma, even though you're still getting thunderstorms. So these guys are racing so fast. The reason they're intensifying once they get into Crawford County is because they're getting closer to the front. So they're not going to go severe here, but once they get into Missouri, we could see that cluster becoming a severe thunderstorm warning. Clearing out once you get back through northeastern Oklahoma, still the big severe threat is going to be for about the next hour. Southwest Missouri, the bigger severe threat is now kind of starting to shift east of Joplin, which is good, east of Miami. Really, this back edge of this line is where we are seeing most of the severe weather from this point on. We'll go ahead and zoom in here. So we're looking at Joplin proper. I want to go back up to that tornado warning. Is there anything new on that, Chris?
The National Weather Service in Springfield says that they are getting a strong indication of tornado developing in the Golden City area. Okay. Storm spotter reporting in Golden City can see rotation in clouds. No tornado seen, only upper rotation at this particular time. Not seeing anything impressive yet on the debris tracker there, but still monitoring this very closely. So this is going to be around the Golden City area, just west of Greenfield, north of Lockwood is the area that they are watching very, very closely.
Okay, yeah. So it's that same notch that went by. So it'd be right in here, but I would also watch that guy back there, even though that's in the rain. But that would be an area that, at least from the radar return, you can see some movement. So you can see some movement right through here and then also back through here. So definitely, I mean, that's kind of how it's been all morning. We have several areas to watch, but this racing northeast of Lockwood looks to be 2 or 3 miles, but you see a big inflow into here. It's a very dirty or noisy storm, meaning it's not well organized, but it's not taking much organization to get some storms. And because this line is kind of converging with this mess over toward Greenfield, that may cut this off as we go through about the next 10 minutes or so. But still, tornado on the ground, and obviously spotters are noticing something that is turning out across parts of Dade County. So we want to watch that. Moving a little bit farther south, again, we want to watch these front nubs. So where we get these notches, this storm in eastern Jasper County looks to have ticked down a little bit. It's mainly east of I-49, getting into Sarcoxy, also Diamond. Pretty heavy amounts of rain, a lot of thunder and lightning. In fact, I'll put on lightning tracker for you, and we can see how much lightning we are getting. So not too electric. It gets much more electric once you get down south of Neosho, down toward Goodman, very electric storms. We got to see some pretty amazing thunder and lightning. Well, I guess we didn't see thunder. Saw some pretty amazing lightning as these storms pushed through Joplin. So these continuing severe winds at 60, all racing northeast very, very quickly. That's why our severe threat in the immediate area will be done here within an hour, but probably really under that, because once we get rid of this back line and it gets into Berry County and Lawrence County, it kind of shifts over into the Springfield metropolitan area. All right, so let's go through future here. Let me back this down. We're going to see, it is, what time is it? It's roughly 9 a.m. So here in about 30 minutes, really, because this high-res model is a hair behind. So let's go to about 30 minutes. I know it says 10 a.m., but this is about roughly about 9:30. This is I call it the HRR model, or the High Resolution Rapid Refresh model. So HRRR, but I just call it the HRR. Most of this is going to be moving out of McDonald County, Newton County, pushing into Berry County, Lawrence County, here in about 30 minutes. And if you look back toward the west, Kansas, Oklahoma, not much is going to be going on. So our severe threat calms down. Now, we're going to have plenty of rain as we go through the next few days, but at least we're not going to have to worry about a severe threat. Now, as we go toward 10 o'clock, you can still see the mess of showers and thunderstorms behind it, which we are seeing on the Kansas side right now. But the atmosphere is going to be much more stable, so we're not really going to have to worry about much in the way of severe weather once this back band really works right on through. Let me back up here. I'm going to go back to our warnings map, and yep, still got our big orange box, which is showing us our severe thunderstorm warnings with a possible tornado tag. Still have that tornado warning in northern parts of Dade County. Let me see if there's anything new on that. Looking at some of, let's see here, 43 Moundville. Interesting. Okay, so definite storm. So I'm looking through some of the storm damage that is kind of going through the area. So let me check one thing here. Hang tight with me. And that is, okay. So yeah, I'm trying to go back, and we're looking at, now pictures are coming in of storm damage. Of course, to recap, we've had a couple tornado warnings, a couple tornadoes that have touched down. We have one just north of Pittsburgh near Alba, went to Arcadia, went to Nevada, and then through Walker, then up towards Shell City. Also had a brief touchdown Jasper County, somewhere around Stone's Corner. Haven't gotten much information on that. All right, tornado watch still in effect. This, you can see the western counties are chopping off, and that's what's going to happen as we go through the morning. So I really think our severe threat, Kansas and Oklahoma, is pretty much done. We're still now watching southwest Missouri, northwestern parts of Arkansas. This big orange box is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado tag, meaning anywhere in that box we can get a tornado warning, which of course we still currently have one as we go north of Golden City. So if we look at this rotation, let me see if there's anything new on this. Zoom down here, give me 1 second. Don't see anything new on that. That warning expires at 9:15, but we are still getting that weird little couplet. So this is now north of Greenfield. So still, we're getting some kind of rotation, but this is well east of Golden City, so that is good. So it's pushing right through Dade County. If we look back towards southeastern parts of Barton County, things really calming down. Let's go a little bit farther south. Of course, eastern parts of Jasper County, still severe thunderstorm. Carthage, over toward Avila, and then dropping south towards Sarcoxy. Here's a new scan, so this is pushing into Lawrence County. A little notch there. Let me go back up. Okay, so the golden one looks like this rotation is going to be cut off. So this is north of Lockwood, north of Greenfield, so right up in there. Let's see if that new scan here. Yeah, so still a little bit of a notch in northern parts of Dade County. All right, so heading a little bit farther south, still intense storms. So we're looking Carthage south, I-49 all the way down toward Neosho, and then from Diamond right here down 59. And then this continues into southern parts of Newton County and then extends farther south into Berry County or McDonald County. Still pretty intense storm. So now east of I-49, but right through McDonald County down to Knoll, Southwest City. And then if we go a little farther south into Benton County, we got a little cluster near Gravette, which they're going to want to keep their eyes on that one because that one has an interesting little curvature structure. Back toward the west, let me back up here and we're going to look at the radar in motion. You can see that storm intensifying a little bit right on top of Pittsburgh. And again, as I was mentioning, where these storms are popping up is in a stable environment, but as they push into the more unstable environment closer to the front, we'll have to see if any of those guys try to tap into that more unstable area and try to rotate. Chris, anything new on any updates coming in?
Not at this time. We don't have anything new so far other than we're starting to see again some of the tornado watch drop off there. So you can see again out to the west, it's starting to clear out progressively. To the east, a good portion of it, and there you see additional counties being dropped out of that tornado watch in northeast Oklahoma. So really the parts of the watch that are left are the parts that still are in effect until noon today. But again, as this line rolls through, we'll continue to see counties get dropped out of this tornado watch. Still, the only tornado warning, again, is the one that is now to the north and east of Golden City. We've been talking about north of Greenfield, so we'll want to keep a very close eye on that. And of course, with these more intense storms, the lightning, again, is just absolutely impressive out there. Stretching back down to the south, as Doug's been talking about, we have these storms along into the east of I-49, so Mount Vernon, Monette, Cassville. I know Cassville, you had a storm roll through not long ago. You've got more on the way. Pineville, you're getting into it, and of course, this stretches back down into Benton County. Some of the good news is, at least into Benton County and eastern Delaware County, the severe thunderstorm warning does not have that tornado possible tag associated with it. But the ones that do are the ones in orange there. And not long after that came out, we had that tornado warning go up for parts of Barton County out there and then into Dade and Cedar counties. And that's why the tornado possible tag is on those storms. This is as much lead time as you're going to possibly get with this kind of a situation. This is telling you that anywhere along that line, we could get a spin-up tornado. And that is exactly what we've seen since this line really began to roll in just west of our area. Oh boy, about 4:30 or so this morning, I think we got our first tornado report around in Osage County. We got, let's see, this Dade County tornado warning. Storm's going to pass south and east of Arcola, they say, moving into Cedar County, south of Umberview Heights, moving rapidly. It's 65 miles an hour. And so they are, just watching this. And again, they're all moving so fast. And that's the reason, again, with the tornado possible tag. It's giving that heads up now that at any point, anywhere along that line, we could get a spin-up tornado, and as we've seen, unfortunately, we could get a touchdown, and we could get potential damage. We are working on dispatching crews out to areas where we've seen damage. We're talking around the Moundville area so far. Still getting reports out of Nevada as well of damage up in that area, and I'm sure as we get through the morning, we've had some other potential touchdowns across the area. We'll undoubtedly start getting additional information on reports of damage. So again, sightseers, stay out of those areas. We're heading out there for you with our crews. We're going to be out of the way. We're going to get that video. We'll have it, of course, online and on the KOAM News at noon. We're looking at having live reports from the Nevada area today at noon as well. So just like I said, you guys stay out of there. We'll head up there for you, and we'll bring back that video so that you can see what happened without getting in the way of first responders. So again, at this time, just checking. Let's see. No new information. And again, no news is good news. They are expiring the severe thunderstorm warning into Delaware and Benton County in Arkansas. So in our area, that's going to let that expire. And for now, that will just leave what we have in southwest Missouri.
Yeah, and we know that we had a confirmed tornado, most likely on the ground this entire time, but it started near Arma and then went up through Arcadia. We know there was some damage There, at least a semi was flipped over, obviously due to tornadic activity. Up toward Moundville, we know there's damage there. We know there's extensive damage in Nevada, and all the way up towards Shell City, as Chris just mentioned. Don't sight and see. We have crews at it. And I know I just saw a report that some damage is coming in, some videos that we get kind of on the news side. So we get to kind of sift through all of that. But as I back out here, we're going to go through and see what's going on right now, what is going to happen as we go through the rest of the morning. We still have tornado watch, southwestern parts of Missouri, but it's chopping off pretty quick. Still have severe thunderstorm warnings with a tornado tag, meaning all these counties are under a severe thunderstorm warning, but we could see some little spin up. Still have that tornado warning, northern parts of Dade County, but I do think that will expire soon. I think it expires at 9:15 if I remember right. But severe thunderstorm warnings from Cedar, Dade, Lawrence, Berry, McDonald, Newton, and Jasper County, and we also have that severe thunderstorm warning in Benton County. Long morning, still getting thunderstorms on the backside, which are popping up. These storms are non-severe. Now, you can see this one pulling out of Crawford County as it races and interacts with that cold front, which is now in southwestern Missouri. We could see additional severe thunderstorm warnings as they lift northeast out of the region. You can see the pretty intense line, eastern Jasper County. So now out of the Joplin metro, eastern Jasper County down through Newton County and also McDonald County, and getting out of the Grand Lake area in Delaware County. So let's go ahead, zoom in, and take a little bit of a tour. So where that tornado warning was, you can see it does expire at 9:15. And I think they're just going to let that one go. I don't see really any signature on that whatsoever anymore. Still severe storms stocked in, very intense, where you see the darker reds, that's showing us the heavier amounts of rain, and usually some hail, which is mixing in. This storm continues south, Greenfield, southern parts of Dade County, and then pretty much out of Barton County at this time. You can see that back cell kind of near Nevada, non-severe, producing some pretty good rains. Let's go a little bit farther south. Here's Lawrence County, eastern parts of Jasper County, still pretty intense cell east of Carthage. So Joplin's all clear of severe weather. Joplin Metro is all clear of severe weather. Still pretty intense storm, Sarcoxy, moving out of Avila. And then so Mount Vernon, Miller, you guys are on deck to get this pretty intense storm as it pushes off toward the east. Let's go a little bit farther south. This severe thunderstorm continuing to work through eastern parts of Newton County. So here's Neosho, here's Stella, little tiny town of Stella, intense storm on top of you. And then 60 Highway running from Neosho to Monette. Monette's on deck to see our next storm moving in, which is winds at 60 and quarter-size hail. That includes Pierce City, which is very close to Monette. Purdy, you're also on deck for showers and thunderstorms, which are going to be pushing in. Berry County right now, you got one storm moving out, Cassville to Eagle Rock, drying up just a bit, and then you got our next storm moving in. The southern flank of this cell in McDonald County looks to have weakened just a bit. Still very heavy, intense rain as you get into northern parts of McDonald County. Let me throw lightning on. I want to see what the lightning is looking like. Yeah, the lightning is kind of ticked down a little bit. So that's a good indication that a storm is weakening just a bit. Tracking a little farther south, let's go into Benton County, so northwest Arkansas. This storm is out of southwest city, but still severe thunderstorm warning for Benton County. So we want to keep our eyes on these as they continue to push east. But overall storm threat is starting to trend down for the immediate viewing area, which is good. All right, so let's go through time. So let's go about 30 minutes from now. These storms continuing to work into our eastern counties. Once they get all from Stockton, Mount Vernon, Pierce City, Monette, Cassville, for TV market-wise, that is Springfield's market. So we'll start to let those go, but we still want to watch Newton County, McDonald County, as these storms continue to push out of here. If you look back toward the west, not a whole bunch going on once we get through the next couple hours. Kansas and Oklahoma, meaning we get to start to dry out. Here's 10 a.m., still some strong to severe storms, far eastern counties, but pretty much starting to work out of the region. We're still going to get showers and thunderstorms through the rest of the morning hours, but our severe threat will go down here in about the next 30 minutes, which is definitely good news. So let me go back here and see if there's anything new. Chris, have you seen anything new on damage at all?
No new damage reports at this point. Real quick note, Doug, you were correct. They're going to expire the tornado warning in Dade and Cedar County out there. So when it wraps up at 9:15, that will be it on that. But the severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado possible tag, which is everything highlighted in orange there, still continues through 9:45 this morning. So that means, again, anywhere in that zone, we're going to have that opportunity for a potential spin up. And as we mentioned through the morning, and as we talked about, there's been damage. We've had tornado touchdowns. So we still need to monitor these storms, as Doug was saying, very closely as they exit our area, but because we could still see anything at any time spin up across the area. Checking, looking at MoDOT cameras around Mount Vernon and Monette, not seeing anything too crazy yet. Storms just getting ready to roll into those areas at this point. But again, and no additional new damage reports or anything along those lines. So that's some good news. And just continuing to watch this line as it continues to push off to the east. And as Doug mentioned too, unfortunately, the same area that just got hit around the Nevada area, we have this storm. It's not severe, it's not tornadic, but as Doug mentioned, it's entering an area. It could potentially intensify a bit. One way or the other, we're getting lightning, we're getting torrential rainfall in an area where there is damage. That's the last thing that they need, hampering any kind of recovery efforts there. So we'll continue to monitor those storms as well through the morning. And before too much longer, as Doug mentioned too, that severe threat will begin to wind down. We'll have those scattered thunderstorms out there through the morning. But otherwise, we are eventually going to get to a point where things are a little better. Of course, if anything new pops up over here, Doug, I will certainly let you know. And if anything shows up on those MoDOT cameras, we'll find a way to get them loaded up and see what's going on out there.
Yeah, fantastic. I think our overall severe threat, at least for our TV market, is almost done because we have this line now pushing into Dade County, which you can see we have still that warning that's about ready to expire. Dade County, Lawrence County, and Berry County. But this line that is producing severe weather is now crossing the county line into Dade, also into Lawrence, and almost out of McDonald County. Again, we still have this mess on the backside producing showers and thunderstorms. We do know there was a confirmed tornado on the ground. We don't know the exact path. We don't know how long. We don't know if it was on the ground briefly and then jumped up and then came down again. But it started near Arma, went to Arcadia, and then up toward Moundville. We know there was some damage there, up to Nevada, and then up through Shell City. So a pretty good path. We also do know, at least briefly, a tornado touchdown in Jasper County, very close to Stone's Corner. We don't know if there's any damage there yet, but something, of course, that we are keeping our eyes on. Let's go ahead and we're going to zoom in and take another little tour as these storms start to push out, and we'll be able to start to wind down coverage here very shortly, but we want to kind of recap what's still going on. We still have this intense storm getting out of Jasper County now. So from Sarcoxy, just north of Mount Vernon, of course, you always want to watch those little notches as some inflow tries to work in. But Miller to Mount Vernon, you guys definitely on deck for these showers and thunderstorms. Most of these are containing winds 55 to 60 and quarter-size hail, which is low-grade severe, but they can become high-grade severe if you get a little rotation in them. But still very heavy amounts of rain down towards Sarcoxy. But the Joplin Metro looking good. I'm looking at Tower Cam over there. It's not raining. Roads are still wet, but drying out after very intense rain. I mean, we always need rain this time of the year, but not all at once. Storms working into Monette, Pierce City. Of course, they're only about 3 miles apart. And then down toward Aurora, you guys will get into the action as well. But you can see the most intense storms now starting to work out of Newton County. Let's go a little bit farther south. Much less organized. Once you get through McDonald County, I just want to put this in back motion just to watch this guy just for a second. And make sure there's nothing on that little couplet down there. Let me switch this radar up here real quick. I just want to check some velocities on this. Don't really see much there, so that's good, but we'll keep our eyes on that. But overall, right now, things are really winding down, which is great news. We still have these storms kind of working out of our eastern counties, but I think for at least our general TV area, our severe threat is pretty much done. So what we are going to do from this point on, of course, we have our noon news. Make sure you follow the KOAM News Now website. You got Shannon Becker out there, our whole crew, because we do have damage. Of course, that's going to be a long day for the news department, just trying to figure it all out, and we're going to have a lot of information in. We are always live streaming on our KOAM Plus TV app, so you can just download that to your Roku. Boom, it's right there, or you can get it on your phone, so you can get all the damage updates from that point on. We are going to, on the severe weather side, wind things down now because they are moving out of our immediate counties and pushing into the Springfield market. But if anything else did pop up, Chris and I aren't going anywhere, so we will pop right back on and let you guys know. But control room, we can officially say we're going to pass it back to programming.